Well, today is the 28th day of January 2016, and my present physical location is the Watertown, Massachusetts Free Public Library. And the reason why I'm down here is because at 2 o'clock, in a very short time, is the start of the of another meeting of my local. Well, it's not my. Well, Finn Gardner is an African American Asperger autism friend of mine. You know that he is the leader of our local chapter of the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, which is a civil rights organization. And of course, with it is important for us disabled adults and young people to take and band together to demand our rights as citizens. Even though we have had the Americans with Disabilities Act, now for over almost 26 and a half years, since it was signed into law, that mostly it is still civil rights on paper, but not in actual fact. Because many of us, persons with disabilities, experience discrimination in the workplace, with respect to hiring or being on the job. We also experience discrimination with respect to attitudes toward people who assume that we are shall we say issues like people think we are mass shooters. That came out with the when they had Adam Lance down in Newtown, Connecticut, a young adult with Asperger's syndrome who was clearly mentally ill and was not receiving the proper care or treatment, because his mother refused to accept services for her son. And that everybody starts blaming people on the autism spectrum. That's just an example. Other things, we got the issue now where we have a president of the United States who is extremely hostile towards children and adults with disabilities. And many of his cabinet picks for his, Secretary of Education, Attorney General, and Secretary of Health and Human Services also extremely hostile towards persons with disabilities. And of course, we have to take and decide how are we going to take and continue to fight for our civil rights. And of course, this is very important because if we don't stand up for our civil rights, we are going to get mowed down by those who think that we are useless eaters with it, and people who are not worthy of life. And there's those type of people who are now in the ascendancy in our government. And, well, anyways, that I'm just waiting for all my friends that I know through the Autism Self-Advocacy Network to show up here at the Watertown Free Public Library on Main Street in Watertown, Massachusetts, Saturday afternoon, the 28th day of January.